You're watching ICENET, independently covering New York Islanders hockey past and present, bringing you the tradition and nostalgia you know and love with a modern feel. This is where Islanders tradition and pride are always our number one. Built by passion for the orange and blue. Isles coverage. Taking a step into the future by reaching into the past. ICENET. Dynasties live here.
From the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, SportsChannel presents New York Islanders hockey. Tonight, the Islanders play host to the Winnipeg Jets. Hi again, everyone. I'm Jiggs McDonald with Ed Westfall and Stan Fischler. Winnipeg making their only visit to the Nassau Coliseum this season. They're making a three-team swing, starting in New Jersey the other night with a 1-1 tie, here tonight, and then they go to Madison Square Garden to face the Rangers tomorrow night. And this Jets team is a team to contend with.
It just certainly is a team to contend with, Jiggs. They're probably playing as well as this team has ever played. They've chased the Edmonton Oilers all the years they've been around, since 1979, as an expansion team. But they look like a team that can very much give Edmonton a pretty good run. They're 1 point behind them right now, 19 points to Edmonton's 20. They had a tremendous game, I understand, the night we were in St. Louis against the New Jersey Devils. Goaltending on the side of the Devils kept them from mounting up a score. But I would have to think that the Islanders are going to be in for a pretty tough time with this team, and they're good on the road. Winnipeg has always been a pretty good road team, and Howard Chuck loves to play. He's playing as well as he's ever played.
You had a look at the numbers there in the standings. You see that they've played one less game than the Edmonton Oilers, and Edmonton is in action tonight. Calgary with a big win last night over Los Angeles, and there was this Winnipeg team that surprised Calgary last year. There were the Flames building everything toward another confrontation with Edmonton, a confrontation that never came about thanks to the Winnipeg Jets.
Well, and you know, Winnipeg started off with a home-and-home series with the Calgary Flames and won both games at the beginning of the season, so they set the tempo with Calgary early.
And now the New York Islanders. Let's talk a little bit about the team that is in first place in the Patrick division, and especially the play of a Pat LaFontaine.
Well, Pat LaFontaine is just so hot, and he has done so many.
We thought Leiter might be back. He's recovering from a bout with pneumonia. Gerald Didick has that break, and he's at least 2, maybe 3 weeks away. Bill Smith, who was injured last week, Bill says that he's going to be ready to play probably in uniform, I would say, on Tuesday against the Kings. And right now, I would say that Smitty may be playing, and Patrick Flatley, the other Islander, scratch. We were talking before about Ron Hextall and the problems of the Philadelphia Flyers. I just want to mention one thing. I was just told that Hextall, according to some writers I've talked to, has been obsessed and absolutely obsessed with all the talk about his chopping. And now he's getting so obsessed about it that he just doesn't want to talk anymore. And I think that this is really affecting his play. He wants to play that mean kind of game, and yet he doesn't want to talk about it. And everywhere he goes, in every single rink, the writers keep going up to him. When he played in Hartford, he got very angry at a Hartford writer who obviously brought it up. And Hextall said, well, if you were walking down the street and a guy chopped at your head and he chopped at your ankle and he pushed you, how would you react? And I think Hextall right now is overreacting, and that could be affecting his hockey game.
Look the puck, and so can that guy, Kelly Rudy. You see his numbers on this season. lifetime against Winnipeg, a record of a win, 2 losses, no ties, and a 3.67 goals against average. 2.89, fifth best goals against right now in the National Hockey League. Referee is Don Koharski. Ron Hasselstein and Ray Scapadello will work the lines tonight. Ryan Trottier centering for Richard Crom and Mikko Makela, with Conroy and Dineen on the Islander defense. It's Taglianetti moving up, dumping the puck in for Winnipeg. It's cut off by Rudy, and there's Dineen. McBain into forecheck quickly, knocks it back of the net. Hawerchuk runs into Conroy as he moves it up the left wing boards to Trottier, now to center ice, and Carlisle gets there. Puck goes loose. Trottier knocked it away from McLean, and is dumped down into the Winnipeg zone. Bertillon plays it around behind the net for Taglianetti. Up to McLean, works it out to center. Dineen gets there. Dineen plays it away from Hawerchuk to Trottier, now to Makela. Over the line on left wing around Taglianetti. Is pulled down. There'll be a penalty against Winnipeg. Conroy with the puck. Plays it in off Carlisle's stick. Makela trying to center from back of the net. Once the Jets get control of the puck, as they do now, play is called. And 46 seconds into the opening period, the Islanders get the man advantage.
Good burst of speed by Mikko Makela. It's pulled down from behind. Makela had the defenseman beat. He moved in to take the shot. Here's Makela getting outside. There's the hook taken down by Taglianetti. Islanders get the first power play opportunity in the hockey game. Makela had him clearly beaten outside. Taglianetti drawing the penalty, and the Islanders, they're third overall now on the power play, which has been improving steadily.
Now the numbers on the Winnipeg penalty killing rank 16th in a 21-team league. The Islanders trying to control the puck. Conroy has taken it from Derek King into Brent Sutter to Kerr. Couldn't get a stick on it. Jets clear it to center ice. Racing after it, Ron Wilson. The Islanders able to control it. Kerr's pass intercepted, however. Alan Kerr has to come back forward as Wilson went into forecheck. That's Dineen on the right side. The pass bounces over Kerr's stick. Taken by Dave Ellett, or Naked Marois, rather. Marois playing the right side of the defense. Conroy moves it up left wing. Out comes Derek King. King with a pass to Kerr. Bunted it out of the air. The Jets clear that. Potvin and Janssen out together on the Islander defense now. Into forecheck goes Doug Spale. Potvin gives it to Janssen. Steen and Spale up front, killing off the penalty. That's Derek King trying to get around Kite. Back it goes to Janssen. Janssen with a drive. Bertillon the save. King with the rebound, and that's blocked at the defense. And there's another penalty call coming up. Alan Kerr was cross-checked and knocked down in front of the net. And Winnipeg will be 2 men short.
59 seconds still remaining on Taglianetti's penalty. He's now joined in the penalty box by his teammate Marois. There he is going in. A cross-checking penalty in front of the net. Number 22, Marois. There's the cross-check. Wow. Look at Alan Kerr's head snap as Marois thoughtlessly cross-checks him from behind. The referee obligated, under the circumstances, Don Koharski, to give him a penalty. A lot of referees, and most, are reluctant to give a team a 2-man advantage. Look at Dan Maloney. What are you trying to do to my team? There's enough penalties, enough power plays in the game with the Devils. How about this afternoon, the game? Only two of 10 goals scored in that hockey game. Detroit and the New Jersey Devils were at even strength. The rest of them were all power plays.
Trottier and Wilson on the face-off here, and LaFontaine gets it back to Janssen. In along the boards, Makela handling it, gives it to Janssen. Back to Makela. In deeper to Trottier as Potvin crossed in front of the net. The play broken up, and Carlisle had shot it down the ice.
Fine play by the veteran Randy Carlisle. Laid the stick down, timing it perfectly, took it away, and was able to shoot it down the ice.
6th time this season that the Islanders have had a 2-man advantage, and they have trouble getting into the Winnipeg territory. Janssen with it across to Pat LaFontaine. Unable to set up Trottier, and it goes offside. 25 seconds remaining in the original penalty. That's to Taglianetti. Marois went off for cross-checking.
Such a good opportunity at the beginning of a hockey game to get a 2-man advantage. I don't think the Islanders have had a shot on goal with the 2-man advantage. We saw Randy Carlisle intercept the play, shoot it down. Ben Wilson Number 24, Ron Wilson, made a nice move, keeping the Islanders from penetrating into the Winnipeg end of the ice.
Trottier with LaFontaine on the left side, Delgarno on the right. Potvin and Janssen on the points. Steen playing it back to the Islander zone, and here's Janssen with it. Cross to Trottier, played it around Carlisle to LaFontaine. To Trottier, is shot right on. Blocked by Bertium, and it ends up back of the net. Jim Kite clears it off Janssen's stick. He'll recover at the Islander blue line just as the penalty to Taglianetti is about to expire. Janssen gets across the blue line, gave it to Trottier, who's bumped. Here's Delgarno. Chased behind the net as he couldn't backhand it. Danny Potvin puts it out in front. That's cleared. Trottier knocks it down. Back it goes to Janssen. Into the corner. Carlisle gets to it and is cleared at the length of the ice. 45 seconds remaining now, and there was cross-checking penalty. The Islanders unable to capitalize with a two-man advantage for a tick less than a minute. Janssen with a pass to Kerr. To LaFontaine, back to Kerr on right wing. He shoots. Bertium kicks that aside. Dave Ellett plays it up along the boards, and it's dumped down the ice by Doug Spale.
Good stop by Bertium. Good play by Alan Kerr.
Potvin starts the play for the Islanders with a pass to Brent Sutter. Now to Kerr. Alan Kerr is checked at center. Sutter gets a stick on it, plays it rink wide to Potvin. Potvin wraps it in around the boards. Going in after it is Brent Sutter. Let it go to Kerr. Now to Sutter. Checked in the corner, and Spale picks it up and fires it down the ice. That will kill off the penalty time to Merwan. Nothing doing with the man advantage. Two of them for the Islanders. Makela checked at center ice. Howardchuk pushed into the Islanders zone. Now the puck comes in and tied up on the boards. He moves it up to Makela. Over to Conroy, off his skates, has to go back for it. Conroy left it on the boards. Peter Taglianetti gave it to McLean. Left side. McLean dropped it to McLean, couldn't get it to Carlisle, and Basson is there. Now to Dineen. Dineen up the boards to Alan Kerr. It's knocked away from him. Picked up by Andrew McBain to Dale Howardchuk. Turns, lets one go, and that just missed. And I mean just missed. Greg Gilbert clears it to center. That's going to go the length of the ice. Carlisle turns and goes back, and we'll get an icing call. A break in the action. 15 minutes, 24 seconds remaining in the opening period. The Islanders and the Winnipeg Jets are scoreless.
Howardchuk has good shooting range. Here he turns just inside the blue line, using everybody as a screen. There's the shot. Kelly Rudy got just enough of it at the last second. He got his catching mitt on it. It bounced off the catching mitt and deflected up over the top of the net into the glass. Good move by Dale Howardchuk.
Boschman out with Neufeld and Jim Nill for Winnipeg. The Islanders move it out of their own zone, and it's King across the line with a shot. Bertium, the glove save, and he holds on as King let it go off left wing.
Now Derek King letting the shot go. Look who was trying to get the rebound. Brian Curran. Watch here as the shot comes through. Curran is coming right down the middle of the ice. He just keeps coming, thinking, oh, maybe I'll get a rebound. But Bertium has a hold of it, hangs on, and stops the play. The Islanders had 3 shots on the power play. They had 1 with a two-man advantage. You could say they didn't take advantage of the two-man advantage.
You could and be correct. You did and were. Randy Wood playing the right wing with Brent Sutter at center ice. And on the left side, Derek King as we watch Curran. Ryan Curran's pass up the boards, deep into the Winnipeg zone. Bertium let it go. The Islanders got to it first. Now the Jets control it. Play it out into center ice. Dave Ellett picks it up. Ellett, the rushing defenseman, moves in and fires one wide. Curran clears it up the boards. Here's King. Around one man has given it to Brent Sutter into the Winnipeg zone. Sutter plays it to Randy Wood. The side of the net is picked up by King. King looks in front, shot one off the pads of the goaltender, Bertium. Puck ends up over on the left wing boards, and Nill is able to clear it down into the Islander territory. Conrad is back. Pass out of the reach of Dineen, and now Tim Waters dumps it in for Winnipeg. Conroy trying to get away from Spale. Gives it to Makela, on to Crom. Crom shoots it in from center ice. Trottier racing it after it. Merwa got back in time and engulfs it out to the blue line. Conroy stepping in front of Steen. Jets control it into center ice. Spale checked from behind. And here's Conroy. Steve Conroy plays it around the boards. Berthiaume dumps it up right wing. Garvenpagh gets checked. Trottier with the puck. It's knocked away from him. Bringing it down the right wing boards. Thomas Steen over the Islander line. The play broken up, and Conroy puts it in the far corner. Rudy to Crom. There's no score in the first period. Crom's pass knocked down. Garvenpagh can't get a shot away. He was taken down illegally, and Conroy will get the gate for holding. A break in the action. 13:37 remaining in the first period. The Islanders and the Jets.
Teamwork. This is called teamwork, backing each other up. Here's the Islanders in possession of the puck. They drop it out in front. That's Richard Crom. Made a mistake. Steve Conroy backs up his teammate, takes a penalty. One that you would have to say, if you were an Islander, was a good penalty to take. Steve Conroy taking the penalty for holding. Richard Crom didn't get the puck high enough. He was trying to clear it across the ice in his own end of the ice, which is a dangerous move.
Jets forced back into their own zone now to begin the power play. They're ranked 10th in the NHL. 20 power play goals on 95 opportunities. Used the power play to get themselves a 1-1 tie with the Devils on Thursday night. Ryan Kern trying to get it out of there, did, but put it in the penalty box.
Kelly Rudy looking back over his shoulder. Now he's going over to check the glass. That puck was up around the glass when it was shot. He's looking at it. One of the pieces, there it is. He spotted it. Doesn't line up perfectly. The puck was coming around the glass, hit that piece that was jutting out, and it deflected almost in front of the net. Ron Koharski saying, well, I'll take a push at it. Something they can't do that much about right now, but possibly the crew here could fix between the periods or while the play is going on if they do not have to get out onto the ice. But you can see where the glass doesn't line up flat, and that puck come right out in front of the net.
Howard-Chuck with McLean and McBean on the power play up front for Winnipeg. Hughes, Ellett, and Carlisle at the points. Here's Howard-Chuck. Howard-Chuck back to Ellett. Faked it, gave it to Carlisle. That's one goal, and it's blocked by Dineen. Dineen trying to clear it out. Carlisle held it in, gave it to Ellett. Now to Carlisle. Over to the far side. McBain gave it right back to Carlisle, across to Ellett. To Carlisle. McBain, and it went off Brent Sutter's stick. McBain trying to come in off the boards. That's one goal. Rudy got in front of it. McLean puts it out in front. Comes back to Ellett. In deep to Howard-Chuck. Takes a drive. Rudy grabs it and holds on to it.
Howard-Chuck got the shot up a little bit high. Good stop. Good positioning. You see him. He's a little mad at himself. He let the shot go. Got it out on the end of the stick, maybe. On the blade a little too far. It rose quickly into the midsection. Here's the shot by Howard-Chuck. There it comes up. Unless it was deflected by Richard Crom, the puck got up a little high. The Winnipeg Jets, in shorthanded goals allowed, lead the National Hockey League with 6. They've allowed 3 at home and 3 on the road. So their power play is vulnerable to the penalty killers. They get a chance.
They have Steen in there to take this face-off. Put it in Marois' skates, and it bounces to Basson. Basson into the Winnipeg zone with Kern. The pass was tipped by Taglianetti. Back for Winnipeg, Ray Neufeld. Around the boards, in comes Kern. Plays it to the corner. Neufeld with it again. Up the left side for Nill. Jim Nill carries it to center, then plays it rink wide to Marois, and he fires it around the boards. Rudy's floated up. Jets get to it first. Neufeld back to the blue line. Taglianetti and Marois move it back and forth. Taglianetti's shot changed direction off Garvenpagh in front of the net. And Basson dumps it into center ice. Taglianetti had it in his equipment. Got it back to Marois. 18 seconds to go in the Winnipeg power play. Marois across the blue line. In deep. Garvenpagh chased back to the net, unable to center it. Rudy had to stick out to cut it off. Under Steen trying to put it out in front. Can't do it, and Trottier breaks out. Has Makela with him over on right wing. Ryan Trottier into the Winnipeg zone. Gave it to Makela, and his slap shot went wide of the net. Jets get to it. It's stolen by Trottier. Trottier unable to control it. Now Marois leads it right back to Taglianetti. Up the boards for Steen as the penalty has expired. Trottier checked in the Winnipeg zone. A hand pass being called, but they kill off the penalty to Conroy. And we are at 11 minutes and 20 seconds, or a little more than that, remaining in this opening period.
Interesting stat on the Islanders. They're 7th overall in penalty killing. You look at Mikko Makela. left-handed shooting right winger. They're 18th at home. Ranked 18th at home. They must be the best there is on the road. Ranked 7th overall.
Trache out on the ice with Greg Gilbert and Mikko Makela. Conroy coming back for the Islanders. Down to Makela. Makela knocked down, and will be a penalty as Makela is taken off his skates. A holding call against Winnipeg. 11 minutes, 7 seconds to go in the first period. No score between the Islanders and the Winnipeg Jets.
Steve Rooney gets the penalty. Here's Makela, tries to get away from him. Look at the left arm comes out, pulls Makela off his feet, gets a penalty. Steve Rooney, Canton, Massachusetts. Played for Providence College. His teen years.
Fryer, huh? Brent Sutter to Deneen, over to the right side to Kerr. Checked on the play, and clearing it out is Ron Wilson. Rudy slides out of the Islander net, faked it once, then plays it around the boards for Conroy. Down to Brent Sutter. Over at center ice, fed Alan Kerr on right wing. Kerr back to Sutter. He couldn't get a stick on it. Bertium kicked it aside. Here's Sutter with it. Deneen across to Conroy. His shot tipped. Bertium got the pads in front of it as it came off. Derek King's stick.
What a great reaction by Bertium as he got his left foot moving in time to take it away. That deflected shot.
They'll put it on Rudy, and the Islanders start out. Derek King at center ice. Ian Makela bumping on the boards. Makela up with the puck now. Makela runs into McBain. Kerr is there trying to bull his way around Randy Carlyle. In comes McBain. The puck cleared. Makela with it. It's over the Winnipeg line. Makela centers one off the heel of Johnson's stick. Johnson to Makela. Makela feeds Potvin at the left point. In along the boards to Makela. Feeds it in deep. Johnson goes back to the net. Played it off. Makela with it now. Trying to center one that went off Carlyle, and out come the Winnipeg Jets. Under Steen's clearing effort ends up in the penalty box, and there's no further play.
The Jets are lacking the offensive end of penalty killing. They're tied with Quebec for the fewest shorthanded goals in the league. They do not have any. Well, they don't really pose a big threat to score when they're down a man. A moment ago you saw Terry Simpson. He has to feel good about the way his team has been playing in first place in the Patrick division. Take a look at the save as Steve Conroy lets it go toward the net. There's the deflection off the handle of Derek King. Do you see the left foot shoot out and kick the puck away? Good stop by Berthiaume.
Played once against the Islanders. That game a 2-2 tie last season. Unable to get anything going with the man advantage at that Winnipeg blue line, and now they'll start from deep in their own zone. Potvin around to Janssen. LaFontaine, Makela, and Trache up front as Janssen comes out of the corner with it. Janssen to Makela, trying to play it across to Potvin, and that deflected into the Jets' territory. That's Jim Kite trying to clear it and hit Makela. LaFontaine fed Janssen. Janssen plays it around the board. Penalty time is over. So the Jets kill off another Islander power play attempt. Smale with a pass up left wing. Ron Wilson plays it in around Potvin. Chasing it is Rooney. Steve Rooney, who had just served a holding call. Back out there for Winnipeg. Greg Gilbert, or Mick and Delgarno, excuse me, can't get over center ice, and Janssen goes back for the puck. Now Gilbert comes out on the left side with LaFontaine and Delgarno. Pass to Gilbert. Gilbert to LaFontaine, comes to center ice, shoots it in, and then he heads for a rest and is replaced by Basson. Delgarno in off left wing, so was Gilbert. Gilbert tied up at the last second by Paul McLean. Howard Chuck drops the puck back. Tim Waters plays it across to Ellett. Long shot, Rudy the stick save, it bounces out in front, and Brian Kern with it now is able to clear it out of his own zone. Right to Delgarno, who dumps it in from center. Bertiaume with it back of the net. Plays it around the boards. McBain bumped solidly by Delgarno. The puck comes to the point. Lane got to it and shot it down into the Islander zone. This will be called back for icing. 8 minutes remaining. Break in the action. Period 1 to Nassau Coliseum. The Islanders and the Jets are scoreless.
Exactly 8 minutes remaining here in the first period, and just about what you would expect with Winnipeg, a good hockey team playing on the road, close checking. Not going to allow the Islanders the luxury of having an opened-up game here and freewheeling.
Carlisle and Taglianetti out on the Winnipeg defense. Taglianetti played it to center off Conroy's stick. Back go the Islanders. Gord Dineen picks up the puck. Forward line is Brent Sutter with Derek King on one side and Randy Wood on the other. Dineen comes out from behind the net, got it away from Howard Chuck, gave it to Randy Wood. Carries it over center across the Winnipeg line. Went to the right on Carlisle, then the drop pass is picked off by McBain to Howard Chuck out to McLean. McLean here on the right side. Waits with it. Carlisle picks it up, put it in front. There's McBain. What a stop by Rudy as McBain cut through on a pretty play.
Randy Carlisle has been outstanding defensively for Winnipeg early in this hockey game, showing that he still possesses his offensive threat as well. Here's Carlisle picking a puck up from McLean. He waited, held it, then he gave it to McBain. Watch what McBain goes to the backhand in front of Derek King. What a stop by Kelly Rudy. Kelly Rudy starting off here against the Winnipeg Jets the way he left off against the St. Louis Blues on Thursday night. In the later stages of that game, he was outstanding again, kept the Islanders from falling into a tie and possibly a loss when he come up with big stops, particularly the one off Tony McKegney.
8 wins on the season for Kelly Rudy. That ties him for most of any goalie in the league, along with Brant Fuhr, Lane Chevrier, and Mario Gosselin. All set to face off for the Islanders against Laurie Boschman of the Jets. Boschman got the draw to Marois. His shot deflected just wide of the net. Here's Gilbert trying to move it up the boards. Now to Basson. Back to Gilbert. Greg Gilbert leads a 3-on-2 rush as Johnson comes up. So does Basson. Gilbert in on left wing. Centers. They score! Delgado from Gilbert. It's 1-0.
Beautiful passing play. I wonder if many people here in the building know exactly how that play started. It started back in the Islanders' end of the ice. A marvelous play, a timing play by Basson with a short pass between his legs, and away broke the Islanders. Watch here. There goes the puck. It was a drop pass from Basson onto the stick of Greg Gilbert. Here's Gilbert as he goes across the blue line. He's waiting. As he's waiting, he's timing it, and here comes Delgarno. Delgarno got in behind the defenseman, Jim Kite, and popped it in. A beautiful play by the Islanders. The youthful core here coming to life. Basson with a fine move inside his own blue line to Greg Gilbert, and he to Brad Delgarno, and it's 1-0 with Delgarno's second goal of the season.
That forward line had 2 of the 4 Islander goals in the game at St. Louis on Thursday night. Knight pumps all of a good hip check thrown by Curran. Puck ends up in the right wing. Jim Dill in after it. 3 Jets there. Boschman trying to put it out in front. It went off Janssen. Thomas Janssen carries it to center ice. Into the Winnipeg zone, and as he does so, it's offside as Kerr had gone in ahead of the play on right wing.
Few teams can play the waiting game as well as the Islanders. They get the good goaltending. We saw that. McBain in all alone on Kelly Rudy, and they just waited for the right time. Then they struck. What a nice move by Brad Delgarno, showing that he can get out and go. He just got his steam up and his speed and got behind Jim Kite. And all he wanted to do was get his stick behind him. He didn't have to get the body behind him. Greg Gilbert waited. Then when he saw the stick start to come out from behind, he put it on it.
Brad Lauer is out with Pat LaFontaine and Alan Kerr for the Islanders. Yarvenpah centered one from the corner that was blocked. Smale in after, bumping with Kerr. Eddie Morrow pushing, finally knocking Yarvenpah down. Yarvenpah back on his skates, got the puck to Steen. Turn, shoots one. Rudy the save. Look who was right there in the goal mouth with him. Doug Smale, but Rudy has the puck. A break in the action. Just over 6 minutes to play in the first period, and the Islanders lead the Jets 1-0.
Out of the picture, the shot coming from Thomas Steen. Kelly Rudy making the stop. There's Smale being taken wide by Dennis Potvin.
Trottier all set for this face-off. Steen got the draw back to Willett. His shot off Rudy. Smale had been bumped and knocked down in front, and now Crom plays it rink wide to Makela. Round Ellett coming in on goal. Makela check, got it away off the post. Off the inside of the post to the right of Bertium, and Makela tries to set it up again. This time it's deflected. Crom after it is tripped up in the corner, and there'll be a Winnipeg penalty. The Islanders go to the power play with 5:45 left in the period.
Tripping penalty to Winnipeg. Like the Islanders were going to get a penalty. Winnipeg putting pressure on down in the Islander end of the ice. Back come the Islanders. A penalty to Steen. A tripping penalty. Look at this wonderful move. What a nice move. Mikko Makela, as he steps around Dave Ellett. His shot went off the goalpost. You could see Berthiaume way behind it. And then the penalty occurring just off to the side. There's the trip. What Steen had done was that he pushed the Islander from behind at the top of the legs, creating a tripping penalty. So the Islanders get a power play. 5:45 remaining here in the first period. A 1-0 Islander lead. Brad Delgarno's second goal of the season.
LaFontaine with Brian Trottier and Mikko Makela up front. Potvin has given the puck to Makela. Check there on the right side as Boschman got a piece of him. Now LaFontaine from back of the net. Around to Trottier. Trottier off balance. Recovers his balance and had the puck. Gave it to Makela. Back to Trottier. To the point for Potvin. Through a screen. It was deflected. Makela with it. Shoots. Bertium the save, and the rebound went wide. Trottier steals it in the corner, pulling it away from Marois. Get it around to Makela in time. Jim Kite blocked it, and Wilson is unable to clear it out of there. Kite moves up. It's knocked off his stick, went right to Makela. Across to Trottier on left wing. Now to LaFontaine. Turns and shot it wide. Boschman fires it down the ice, relieving some of this Islander power play pressure.
Boy, the Islanders using some fancy Dan stuff in this power play. Some poor puck handling by Winnipeg Jets.
Potvin shoots it in around the boards. Backboard is Waters. Lays it off the glass and down the ice. 58 seconds remaining in the penalty to Steen. As Johnson comes back to pick it up, Rudy plays it away from him, giving it to Trottier. Or to LaFontaine, to Kerr. He's checked. Johnson moves over center. Into the Winnipeg end with a pass to Trottier on left wing. A shot blocked by Bertium. Kerr feeds Conroy at the point. Into Alan Kerr, tight on the right wing boards. Kerr trying to get around the check of McBain. Gave it to Trottier. Trottier shot one off McBain. Carlisle clears it, and here's McBain shooting it down the ice. The Islanders will go back and have about 20 seconds remaining with the man advantage. Thomas Johnson with the puck. Head to Brent Sutter, and it was just out of his reach. Marois clears it right back into Rudy. Conroy will pick it up back in the net. Left it for Johnson. The forechecking of Wilson got the job done. Put it out in front, and it skipped off Brent Sutter. Sutter, pass intercepted by Wilson. Turned around at center. Steen is out of the penalty box. And the Islanders unable to do anything with the man advantage. Now the puck is deflected into the penalty box, getting a play stoppage.
Cross-ice passes are getting the Islanders into a little trouble. That time it was Brent Sutter trying to make a move across. It was intercepted neatly by Doug Snail. You saw Richard Crom try to do that, and Conroy took a penalty. Here's some pretty good passing. Here's Mikko Makela with his backhand pass. Trottier, a backhand pass. Pat LaFontaine turns and wheels it, but the puck wouldn't lay down flat. It was bobbling and rolling when he let it go well wide of the net.
Gilbert, Basson, and Delgarno back out on the ice for the Islanders. Gilbert in forechecking, knocks the puck loose for Basson. Rounds for that, put it out in front. Delgarno too well covered, and it rolls out into the center ice area. Ryan Curran back. Curran plays it ahead off Delgarno to Basson. To Delgarno, the pass it escapes. He runs into Kite. Puck loose for Gilbert. Gilbert comes in with a drive. Bertium the save. Clearing it around the boards is Rooney. It goes off Kern, held in by Delgarno. Off the blue line, a shot tipped and just wide. Bob Basson with it. Plays it back in the net. Gilbert has been knocked down. Delgarno went after it. Tying it up with Marois. Gilbert comes in as well, and play has been called. 2 minutes, 48 seconds remaining in the opening period. Break in the action finds the Islanders on top. 1-0.
you'd have to credit the Islanders with the better scoring opportunities and the territorial play. The shots do not indicate that totally, though. It's 10-8 at this point in the first period. The Islanders with 10.
Just a little less than 3 minutes remaining in the period. Winnipeg with a break here, but it's offside. They had Mill coming down the left side. The pass was there, but it was over 2 lines. Former Canadian Olympian heads back for a face-off in the Winnipeg zone.
He was in there all alone, Jim Nill, but the pass was offside. He had lots of room, just inches. Here's the pass from inside the blue line. As it carries out across the red line, Nill there is a step across. That puts him offside. He has to let the puck precede him across that line when the pass comes from inside Winnipeg's end.
Brent Sutter unable to pick up a loose puck at center ice, and Carlisle shoots it into the Islander zone. Dean is there. Sidestep the check from Neufeld and comes up with it. Gave it to Conroy, up to Brent Sutter. The Islanders move over center, 3-on-2. Wood, Brent Sutter, and King into the zone. Wood centering attempt, deflected just behind Derek King. Jets shoot it into the Islander zone off Boschman's stick. Backboard is Deneen. Deneen around to King. It's bumped by Taglianetti, and the puck goes down into the Winnipeg territory. Carlisle back for it. Randy Carlisle turns to get away from Kerr and then clears it down the ice. Jets get to it just outside the line. Here's Gilles Lamel across the blue line. Lamel drops it off. Held in. McBain with a shot that changed direction. Alan Kerr gets to it. Kerr dumps it to the line. McBain knocked it down. Lamel recovers outside the blue line and fires it right back in again. Ryan Kerr feeds it up to Lauer. His pass to Pat LaFontaine. Now to Alan Kerr. Kerr backhands it to the Winnipeg zone. Tim Waters plays it across to the left side for Howardchuk. Johnson stepped in front of him. Johnson works it around to the left wing boards for Lauer. Brad Lauer comes over center ice and dumps it in. Kerr goes racing and after it. Alan Kerr trying to pull it away from McBain. The two of them continue to battle. Kerr controlling it. Now it's checked on the boards by McBain. And Al gets to it with less than a minute to go in the period. Villanelle left it for McBain. Jets with trouble here. Potvin shot. And you saw Bertium way up on top of the goal crease. Now Kerr holds it in. Gets to it a second time. This time it's knocked away from him. And Morrill dumps it in from the center ice stripe. Jets bring it out. Waters comes to center and shoots it in. Kelly Rudy leaves it back of the net. Forechecking of the Jets. Trying to get something going late in the period. Smale came in but couldn't control it. Now Merwa has it at center ice. Gave it to Jim Kite. Christine got away from him, got away from Potvin as well. Danny Potvin with the puck. Pass cut off at the blue line. Smale trying to cut in off right wing. Centers one. Batted wide by Steen. Makela clears it out to center ice. Arvenpah back for Winnipeg. 3 seconds left as he shoots it into the Islander zone, and that's going to do it for the opening 20 minutes. The Islanders with better of the territorial play, thanks in a large part to all those power play opportunities. And they come up with the only goal of the period by that man, Brad Delgado. So at the end of one period, your score is the New York Islanders 1, the Winnipeg Jets no score. We'll be back with the recap. Stan will have it.
Would you like to see the red line eliminated, or would you like to see it stay? That has been talked about before. European hockey, of course, without it and more room behind the nets. I think that's one of the areas that they were touching on. They want to move the nets out about 5 feet at each end, giving more room behind the net.
Jay out with Crom and Makela to open up this second period. The Islanders trying to come out of their own end of the ice. Makela drops the puck back to Deneen. Across to Conroy. Up to Trottier. Plays it into the Winnipeg zone. That's Carlisle going after it. Makela right on him. Carlisle gave it away to Trottier. Now to Makela. Nico Makela to Trottier. Couldn't get around Carlisle. Makela with it again. Slipped away from him. He's able to recover and play it in deep to Trottier. Trottier can't center it. Carlisle takes him down. Carlisle playing the puck up to Howardchuk. Picking up 3-on-2. Howardchuk leads them over the Islander line. Turns, shoots one. Rudy the stick save and kicks it up to the right side for Makela. Makela breaking past to Trottier. Coming in, shoots, and Bertium got enough of that to make the stop. Taglianetti with it to McBain. Over to McLean on the right side, and he dumps it into the Islanders zone. Morrow back around the boards for Lauer. Took a hit. Puck directed toward the net is deflected into the corner and recovered there by Morrow. To Kerr. Down into the Winnipeg zone, and Waters hustles after it. Brad Lauer into forecheck. Lauer out with LaFontaine and Kerr. The pass off the boards ends up at center. Left hand there. Gave it to Kerr. Alan Kerr to Brad Lauer, tips it in. Waters chases it. LaFontaine moves in, trying to knock it away from Waters. Takes him into the corner boards. Lauer can't control it. Kerr does. Out of LaFontaine into Lauer. Lauer works his way out of the corner, trying to slip a check. Lost control of the puck, and here's Gilles Lamel. Lamel to Boschman on left wing. Long shot. Rudy, the pad save. And Morrow is able to clear it, but not out. Centered by Neufeld, held in. Lamel puts it out in front. Of the delayed penalty call now against the Islanders. An interference penalty, setting up a Winnipeg power play.
Dennis Potvin draws the ire of referee Ron Koharski. He took one of the Winnipeg forwards in heavily. Went into Kelly Rudy, knocking Kelly Rudy down. So Dennis Potvin draws a penalty in the second power play of the game for Winnipeg.
2 minutes for interference. Final penalty is 1:57.
Penalty box. Here's the shot. Watch Kelly Rudy's left pad. The reason I'd like to show you this, watch the left pad. There's a player from Winnipeg coming in on the right side of your screen that you may not see. You see how he angled his pad? He moved his left pad out and deliberately turned it so that the puck would go away from the on-rushing forward to the left. Here's the play here. Dennis Potvin gets the interference penalty as he hammers Boschman standing in the top of the goal crease, and at the time, Winnipeg had the puck.
Now the Jets with an added advantage. Potvin off for interference. Carlisle and Ellett together on the Winnipeg defense. They have McBain up front, along with Howard-Chuck and McLean. Conroy in after it. McLean bumped on the boards by Greg Gilbert. Trying to tie up the puck. McBain works it around to the right side. Here's Ellett. Into Howard-Chuck. Being watched closely by Brent Sutter. Feeds it back to Ellett. Ellett's long shot. Stick save. The rebound is banged in.
Howard-Chuck coming off the sideboards. He had planned it perfectly, and it worked for him as he passed it back to the point man. He slowly started to move toward the net. The shot came in. Kelly Rudy kicked it out. And Howard-Chuck, there they are talking about it now. There's the shot coming off Dave Ellett. There's the stop by Kelly Rudy, and the puck bounced straight out. Howard-Chuck coming in off the boards to the left of Kelly Rudy, hammers the rebound into the open side. It's a 1-1 tie. A power play goal for the Winnipeg Jets, tying it at 1-1. There's Howard-Chuck in the middle. I should say the captain to the left. That's McLean to the right.
Big Andy McBain in the middle of it.
Andrew McBain, thank you, sitting in the middle. As Howard-Chuck gets his 8th goal of the season, Winnipeg get a 1-1 tie here in the second period.
McBain drew an assist along with Ellett. The power play pays off for Winnipeg, and now LaFontaine feeds the puck across the left wing to Lauer. Got it into the Jet zone. Kerr in after it, gets tangled up in the corner, and the puck goes to Kite. We're tied at 1 as Kite parks behind the net. Played it to the corner. Marois starts out slowly. The pass to Yarvenpaugh's knocked loose by LaFontaine. Can't get to it again. Kite clears it to center ice. Lauer with a pass to Kerr. Plays it over the line. Marois with that to Yarvenpauh. Now to Steen into the Islander zone. To Smale. Cuts right in on goal. He shoots. Rudy the save. And the rebound is banged in. Steen coming in late. Gets a loose puck, and the Jets lead 2-1.
Winnipeg get it an opportunity. They take full advantage as Steen on a backhand shot. Thomas Steen. The Winnipeg Jets get an opportunity on the play. Here's Steen as he starts it. There's the pass. Going in all alone, there's the backhand shot. Good stop by Kelly Rudy off Smale. Here's the rebound after it was originally missed by Yarvenpauh. It's banged in by Thomas Steen. Good stop originally by Kelly Rudy. Here's the pass that sent him in. There's the original shot by Smale. Good stop. Kelly Rudy carries on out of the net. Alan Kerr is going to become the goaltender. And there's the puck between his legs into the net. 2-1 now. Winnipeg ahead quickly here in the second period.
2:27, the time of the goal by Howard-Chuck on the power play, and 50 seconds later, Steen gives Winnipeg a 2-1 lead. Delgarno pulls his way into the Winnipeg zone. Bassett battling forward in the corner. Delgarno knocks it loose. Hits it right back again off the Mel's stick, and then it came out in front and is controlled by Dave Ellett. Ellett moves down left wing, dumps it to the opposite corner. Rudy out of the net, plays it to Gord Dineen. Bob Basson, he's checked. Basson with it again as Boschman moves into forecheck. The pass across to Greg Gilbert. Gilbert over center ice. Plays it deep into the Winnipeg zone. Delgarno went after. Carlisle beat him to it. Randy Carlisle. And the right side. Now to center to Boschman. Boschman and Amell zigzag. Boschman with a shot. Rudy stretching out to make the blocking glove save. And Morrow plays it up right wing, but not out. Carlisle's shot is knocked down by Potvin. Potvin to Crom. Back to Potvin. Checked at center ice. Moving up with it is Taglianetti. Plays one deep into the Islander zone. Rudy with it. Left it for Morrow. Slaps it around to Trache. Relays it down into the Winnipeg territory. Bertium comes out, cuts it off, gave it to Carlisle. Makela had been in forechecking. Now Crom comes in. The puck goes to McLean. Can't clear it out. Rich Crom. Check momentarily, and McBain starts over center on into the Islander zone. Dropped it to Howard-Chuck. Put it in front. Off Trache and just wide as McLean seemed to turn away from it. Breaking down the right side is Makela. Into the Winnipeg zone. Pulls up with it. Makela plays it neatly to Crom. Centers, but McLean came back to step in front of Trache. Here's Howard-Chuck as the play moves the other direction. McBain diving, puts it on goal, and Rudy able to stop that. Thomas Johnson for the Islanders. To Makela. Let it go to Trache. Runs into Kite. Took him off the play. Here's Makela moving in with the pass to Johnson. He shoots. He scores!
Beautiful shot by Thomas Johnson. Set up by Mikko Makela. Makela had a fine first period. Bertium went down. Makela passed it to Thomas Johnson, and he put it over the left shoulder of Bertium. Fine play by the Islanders. What looked like a scoring opportunity for Winnipeg turns out to be a goal here at the other end. There's Thomas Johnson as he whips it up top. Bertium down a little early. Here's Mikko Makela as he drops the puck back. Thomas Johnson using the defenseman as a screen, a partial screen, and it's in. A 2-2 tie now after Winnipeg had jumped ahead. His second goal of the season for Thomas Johnson. At the other end of the ice, Andrew McBain had an opportunity as he went in, took a shot at Kelly Rudy, and back the Islanders came to make it 2-2.
Brian Trache getting an assist on the goal has just tied the great Jean Beliveau with 1,219 career points in an NHL career. Johnson from Makela and Trache at 5:30 of the second period. So we're even at 2-2. Brent Sutter taking the puck down the left wing boards. Coming up with it is King. He and Wood move in 2-on-1. Gary King in deep. Looks, puts it in front of the win off Bertio. Jim Kite plays it around the boards. Held in by Conroy with a pass to King. King on the backhand. Can't get it over to Johnson in time. Jets move into center. The play broken up by King. To Randy Wood. Across the Winnipeg line. Coming in off left wing. He shoots Bertio on the save, and he covers any chance of a rebound. Break in the action with 13 minutes, 39 seconds to play in the second period. The score is tied 2-2.
Oh, really? We're watching Derek King a moment ago. King hesitated. He had Randy Wood going with him. Then Berthiaume forced him wide and took the puck away.
Now the Jets move out of their own zone. Amell's pass is intercepted. Guess that's not a giveaway. Over on the left side, Gilbert in after it. Greg Gilbert plays it back to the net. Delgarno puts it in front. Picked off by Amell. He's hit solidly by Gilbert as he went to clear it to center. Basson there to Gilbert. Back to Basson. Bumped on the boards by Amell and still got it into the Winnipeg zone. Neufeld, Wellet to Hamel, right side off Boschman's skates. It's loose in the Islander territory. Conroy tied up with Boschman as Basson flips it out into center ice. 7 minutes into the second period. 2-2 is your score. Gord Dineen works it into the Winnipeg zone. That's cleared up by Taglianetti. Dineen back for it. Over to Conroy, off his stick, off a broken stick on the ice as well, and around to Dineen. Dineen lugs Turns it over center ice and shoots it wide of Bertiom. Brad Lauer in after it. Gave it to Kerr. Alan Kerr gets checked. Puck cleared behind the net. Taken by Pat LaFontaine to the blue line. Potvin comes in deep. At the side of the net. Backhander blocked by Bertiom, and he covers up the puck. A break in the action. A little scuffling, but nothing serious. With this timeout, 12:26 remaining in the second period, and the score remains Islanders 2, Jets 2.
Islanders. They're being outscored also 2-1.
Trache facing off against Laurie Boschman of Winnipeg. They tie up one another. The puck goes loose. Rom kicks it off the boards. Trache centered. Carlisle has given it to Howard Chuck. To Taglianetti. It's over center ice and plays it in around the boards. Playing for Winnipeg with Morrow on top of him. The puck picked up by Makula. Skating with great ease tonight, isn't he? That pass to Crom on the right side. Crom trying to get around Carlisle. Goes back of the net. Chased into the corner. The puck goes loose. Trache after it. Trache to Potvin. This time his shot deflects wide of the net. Howard Chuck turned away from it. McBain to Howard Chuck. Now to McLean at center. Waits for Carlisle to come over the line. McLean continues to wait, and Potvin does strip the puck away from him. Ryan Trache kicks it into the center ice area. McCain with it. Gave it to Morrow. Kenny Morrow at the center ice stripe shoots it in, but Crom rushed in ahead of the puck, and that's offside.
Pretty good action still here in the second period. The skating stays in the hockey game. Some of the checking close. Mikko Makula is having himself a tremendous game so far. Maybe that's a little strong. He's having a good game so far. He probably can do a little better knowing Mikko. He has the speed, and he's handling the puck and skating really well. Watch the move here coming out of his own end. Look at that move as he pulls it around one. Look at this. One-handed, two, and then breaks up the middle of the ice. And of course, each time he goes around somebody, that means that a player on Winnipeg's team has to leave a check, has to take on another assignment. That opens up more ice for the Islanders.
Rom and Johnson on defense. Up front now for the Islanders. Pat LaFontaine centering for Brad Lauer and Alan Kerr. Kerr has taken the pass from Johnson and dumped it in. Bertiom out of the net, plays it around the boards. In comes Johnson along with Lauer. Tied up here on the right wing. LaFontaine moves in. The puck knocked away from Johnson, and Yarvenpah breaks out. A 2-on-1 break developing for Winnipeg as they move it to the left side. Right back to Yarvenpah. Rudy makes the save up high on his right shoulder.
Yes, a pass that was made back slowed the play down for Winnipeg. They had made the right move. Yarvenpah, as he went down the ice, made the right move initially as he passed it ahead. He passed it ahead to Mario Marois, who had broken up the ice from his defense position. There's the pass back. You see Yarvenpah now, he has to hold and wait until Marois gets across the blue line. By then the Islanders have caught up. The shot up high, Kelly Rudy handling it easily. And charging in, number 9, Doug Smale. Mario Marois was the defenseman. Billy Sutherland now with the headset on, the assistant coach, talking to Marois. Marois took the pass. Yarvenpah had actually passed it back. It was a slow pass. Had he kept skating, of course, they had a 2-on-1 break.
10 minutes, 51 seconds remaining in the second period. Wilson lining up for the face-off for Winnipeg against Bassett. The Jets get the draw. Elliott played it in along the boards. Steve Rooney had it knocked away. Now Deneen gives it to Gilbert. Greg Gilbert. Pass across to Conroy. Got it again at center ice and golfed it in. There's Bassett in the far corner. Trying to get away from the work of Rooney. Has played it back to the net. Over comes Gilbert. Greg Gilbert checked by Elliott. Gilbert right in front to Delgarno. Comes in deep on the right wing, and then the centering effort was picked off by Waters. Jim Dill has it for Winnipeg. Dill carries the puck to center. Gave it to Wilson off his stick. Deneen and Wilson bumping as they go to the corner. It's centered out in front. Dill can't get to it. Conroy had him tied up neatly. Here comes Basson. Basson plays it to the corner deep in the Winnipeg zone. Bertiom will leave it for Taglianetti. Now it goes to Rooney. Steve Rooney checked, and Sutter fires it in. Taglianetti rushed by Randy Woods for checking. The pass goes to Elliott. Brent Sutter right on him. There's Randy Wood coming out of the corner. Plays it around behind the net. Derek King going after it. Ellett got to the puck. Gave it to Rooney. Morrow ties him up. Ellett can't clear it out. Derek King with a shot. That went too high. Wood chasing it. Plays it behind the net. It went off the referee and ends up in the corner. Brent Sutter dumps it back to the goal. Jets give it away again. Here's Morrow in front. It's deflected. Randy Wood trying to center one. It's broken up and brought out by Wilson to Rooney, and he just dumps it down into the Islanders' zone.
Taglianetti had been playing pretty good for the Winnipeg Jets. 2 in a row he gave away in his own end of the ice, and the Islanders get scoring opportunity.
Erwan just put the puck right on Randy Wood's stick into Jerry King, but Brent Sutter stretched out at the blue line is offside.
Tried to make himself 6'5" when he was only 6'1". A break in the action here in the second period. 9:04 remaining. It's a 2-2 tie. By Winnipeg. Taglianetti, that was his second giveaway of the period, or actually that one shift.
Well, their stands numbers as far as giveaways, and I guess they've turned around a little bit here in the last bit.
Something like 12 offensive giveaways. There's a difference between the offensive giveaway and the defensive giveaway, and I think he was talking about offensive giveaways. That's when a team in the offensive zone, generally in control of the puck, loses control of it.
Laurie Boschman has just dumped it into the Islanders' zone. Rudy, the Crom, it was knocked away, recovered by Janssen. 2-2 is your score. Janssen with the pass up the right side to Makela. Now to Rich Crom working on Jim Kite as he comes over the line. Can't get around Kite. It was taken down. There'll be a penalty, a holding call against Kite. Break in the action. 8 minutes, 20 seconds to play in the second period, and your scores, the Islanders 2, the Jets 2.
The penalty here, I'd question a little bit. He did reach out, but he doesn't have both hands. You can see one arm gets a hold of Crom's his right arm and pulls him down. The reason I'm raising the question is if that is going to be a holding penalty, then, you know, we're going to have a lot of penalties in the hockey game. First period, we had 5, which is not really a whole lot. It's less than what we're used to seeing, and so far, this is the second penalty of the second period.
Islanders with a man advantage. Johnson holds the puck in at the right point. The pass to Makela. Makela rounds the net. Fontaine was well covered. The puck goes back to Potvin. Over to Janssen. Potvin into Makela. Gave it to LaFontaine, right back to Makela. Smale and Wilson up front. Waters and Carlisle on defense. Potvin from the point. His shot went off Trottier. Janssen racing it after it. Turned on Wilson. Gave it to Trottier, who was bumped. LaFontaine with it now. Back to Janssen. Into Pat LaFontaine. Right back to Janssen to the corner for Makela. Had it out of the reach of LaFontaine, who had started in. Janssen got to it. The pass went to Potvin. Over to LaFontaine. Back to Potvin, in from the left point. Feeds Trottier in the corner. Centers. LaFontaine too well covered. Janssen works it across to the left side. Potvin shot deflected. Carlisle in the goal mouth is able to clear it down the ice.
The Islanders started to move their feet. They started to move their bodies, I should say their bodies, and then the puck. Winnipeg doing a good job killing it off so far.
55 seconds left. Brent Sutter into LaFontaine. Put it in the goal mouth, and there's Carlisle again. And again, he's able to clear it out.
Sutter gets tripped up. We're talking about when referees give a team a 2-man advantage and when they don't. Easily, they could have done that there.
Brent Sutter shooting it into the Winnipeg zone. King in ahead. The pass being called back on the offside as you look at the Islander bench and Coach Terry Simpson, his team in a 2-2 tie. Bob Nystrom coming into the picture now. Stan Fischler's intermission guest will be that man, Marty Wakeland, one without the helmet. Marty playing musical goaltender's backup role right now. Boyden Gunn got the trip to St. Louis. Marty Wakeland went back to Springfield. Saying he's going to get those commuter plates, drive back and forth here. But he was asking tonight for all the satellite information for SportsChannel. So his mom, I think back in Victoria, British Columbia, is tuned in. We will be sending a bill, Mrs. Wakeland. The Islanders have just taken a 3-2 lead.
A deflected shot. Alan Kerr was in there. He was looking for the shot coming from the point position. Steve Conroy, I believe, shot the puck. Alan Kerr possibly deflected it. Dan Maloney, coach of the Winnipeg Jets, obviously not happy with that play. Here's the play now as Steve Conroy lines it up, lets it fly. Here it comes in. Yes, Alan Kerr deflects it into the right-hand side of the net to the left of the goaltender, Berthiaume. Steve Conroy stopped smartly, in front of Mario Merwa, number 22. There's the shot. There's the deflection. And it's 3-2. The Islanders have regained their lead here in the second period. They led 1-0 at the end of the first, and then back-to-back goals by Winnipeg saw the lead go to Winnipeg, and now it's Islanders tying and then going ahead with Kerr's 8th goal of the season.
We know the Kerrs also have a satellite dish out there in British Columbia. Alan's dad will be pleased with that one, his 8th goal of the season. Power play goal as the Islanders up 3-2 as Gilbert handles the puck here on right wing. Into Bob Basson. Down in front, shoots just wide of the glove side. Conroy at the left point. Plays it in along the boards. Conroy and Deneen got the assist on Kerr's goal. Deneen back at center, moves it up to right wing. Taglianetti on the Winnipeg defense. Got it right back after giving it away, and this time dumps it down into the Islanders zone, wide of the net. An icing call coming up. Just a little less than 6 minutes to play in the second period. A break in the action. And your score is the Islanders 3, the Jets 2.
Against the Washington Capitals. Marty was talking about his mother watching the game back in Western Canada, British Columbia. I had him go into the control room, phone his mother, and give the coordinates for that particular game. So, Mrs. Wakeland, you're going to get a double billing.
We'll just direct all calls concerning the satellite information to Mr. Lasker, Ron Lasker.
Oh, yes, you heard from him.
Oh, yeah. Our satellite audience is incredible. And we have accepted his New Year's Eve invitation, by the way. I don't believe it's one of those BYOB things.
No, we're going to bring all of our friends. Well, let's go down and get an update with Stan Fischler on some of the stats.
Thank you, Eddie. We've been tracking Dale Howachuk. He's averaging 8 shifts a period, and we're going to see a lot more of him as the game goes on. Take it away, Jiggs and Eddie.
All right, you're watching Gary King with a pass to Randy Wood on right wing. In front to Brent Sutter, but Boschman had him wrapped up. Sutter to Wood, knocked it loose. Gary King plays it to the corner, and over goes Merwa for the Jets. Dropping it into center ice. Curran back has cleared it into the Winnipeg zone. In tight with it. Down to Merwa. Wood slammed tight on the boards heavily. Meantime, Amell comes out on the left wing. Plays it wide to Brody. Brent Sutter going it after it. Backhands it to center. That will end up in the Winnipeg zone. A race for it. Tight and Randy Wood coming in. And a little pushing and shoving. Wood's helmet has been knocked off. Waters for the puck. Shot it off Wood's back. Plays it around him again and picks it up. Waters out into center. Boschman with it down. He dumps it in. A little less than 5 minutes to go. Period 2. Denny Potvin. His pass intercepted by Yarvenpah. Played it across. Alan Kerr got to it. Now Amell fires one toward the net. Johnson is there. Kicked it to the stick and then played it up right wing to Kerr. Out to center. Off LaFontaine. He picks it up. Hooked up from behind. Still got the shot away. There will be a penalty on the play. Referee Koharski handing out a hooking penalty. Break in the action. 4.5 minutes to go in the second period. The Islanders
Back for Pat LaFontaine. Here's Alan Kerr dumping it into center. Wow. Waters gives it to LaFontaine in full flight. And then Elliott pulls him from behind. Look at here. He gets the shot away anyway. Not many players are that well coordinated, but Pat LaFontaine is. And he got the shot away. A beauty. Forced Berthume to make a save. A penalty, though, to Dave Elliott. A power play again for the Islanders.
Elliott gets called for hooking at 15:28. LaFontaine, Trottier, and Makela up front. Johnson and Potvin on the points. Last season, in 3 games against the Jets, the Islanders had 2 power play goals and 9 opportunities. Taking the lead tonight on the power play goal from Alan Kerr. Fontaine gave it to Trottier. Back to Potvin. Over to Johnson. His return pass went off his stick and out into center ice. Potvin recovered. Gave it to LaFontaine. To Trottier to Makela. Makela drops it back to LaFontaine. In off the wing. Shoots just wide. There's Makela trying to put it in front as LaFontaine had been knocked down again. Makela falls. The puck comes back to Johnson. Into Trottier to Mikko Makela. Centers. Trottier trying to go back to the net. Does. LaFontaine is being bumped around. A delayed penalty. Now it's called. And the Islanders will have their second 2-man advantage on this hockey game.
LaFontaine got hammered from behind twice. A cross-check, I believe it was. Going to the penalty box. Boschman, I believe it is. LaFontaine twice had to pick himself up. The second time, Ron Koharski said, that's enough. There's LaFontaine as he goes to the ice. Brian Trottier in possession of the puck. The Islanders will have another two-man advantage, this time for the beginning of a minute and 25 seconds, as Boschman takes a cross-checking penalty on Pat LaFontaine. Not a smart move by Laurie Boschman. He could have easily covered LaFontaine at that position without drawing a penalty. The Islanders with a good opportunity here to widen their one-goal lead. 3:57 remaining in the second period. It's 3-2.
By the second minute mark of the opening period, the Islanders had a two-man advantage. A 59-second advantage. Two men couldn't do anything with it. Delgarno got it to Potvin on this play to Janssen. Through a screen, it's just wide. Makela's shot blocked by Berthiaume. Makela to Potvin to Janssen. Off his stick, Johnson over to Potvin, off his stick, and now a penalty for interference.
An Islander penalty to Brad Delgarno. He knocked the defenseman down just to the right of Berthiaume, trying to get himself in the open to take a pass. He was looking for his second goal of the hockey game. He opened the scoring back in the first period. What a stop here by Berthiaume. Here's the shot by Thomas Johnson off the backboard. Makela moves in. Look at the net. You can see what he's got in mind. Look at the stop. Looking like Kelly Rudy as Berthiaume dives across, gets his hand in front of it, and knocks it aside. Watch to the upper right side now as Waters moves out to Delgarno. He cross-checked him pretty good. Then Delgarno pushes back and sends Waters to the ice, and that's where the penalty, a little retaliation by Brad Delgarno. So he nullifies the Islanders' two-man advantage on the power play. 4 goals scored here in the second period. Howard, Chuck, and Steen 50 seconds apart give Winnipeg a 1-goal lead. But then Thomas Johnson and Alan Kerr for the Islanders regained a 1-goal lead for New York.
And for the next minute, barring further penalties, they play 5 against 4. Potvin with a pass to Makela on right wing. Trying to get around Kite, does. Shifts, and Berthiaume stood right there and made the save. Actually down on the pads. And Kite just cleared it out for the Jets. 3-2, the Islanders leading Winnipeg. Danny Potvin rounds the net. Carries the puck to center, makes the pass to right wing. Brent Sutter can't get to it. Kite cleared it. Johnson back has given it to Potvin. Wilson forechecking for the Jets. The pass went to Janssen, now to Brent Sutter. Sutter cuts inside, draws a crowd, and then they back away from him, allowing Sutter to handle the puck. The pass to Potvin, he shoots. Berthiaume got enough of that. Janssen into the corner to LaFontaine, works it back to the net for Sutter. To the point, Potvin with it, gives it to Janssen. Thomas Johnson, back to Potvin. Janssen unloads one, tipped, and Berthiaume has made the save and held the puck just as Elliott was released from the penalty box.
Good stop again by Berthiaume. What a job he's been doing. Daniel Berthiaume, as he comes up with another good stop. Thomas Johnson had the puck laid out for him and just blasted it. There's the puck coming from Dennis Potvin. He rips it. Look at it go down. It hit somebody, a Winnipeg Jet player, and there's Pat LaFontaine trying to dislodge the puck. Berthiaume has a hold of it. 4 shots on goal for the Islanders on the power play. No goals. Berthiaume doing a good job. Thomas Johnson's shot, a beauty, that deflected, and Berthiaume was able to get it. Interesting to point out while they're getting ready to drop the puck on Thursday night against the New Jersey Devils. 4 shots on 2 power plays and 1 goal for the Winnipeg Jets. Tonight now, they've had 4 shots on 2 power plays and 1 goal. And both times, St. Clair scored the goal. Dale Howardchuk.
Right now, the teams are at 5 aside, and Howardchuk controlling the puck. Gave it to Steen, trying to come in off right wing. Dipsy doodling, can't get around. Conroy stick-handled himself right out of his skate. Did he ever? Pache to Borgenine. To Conroy. Now the Islanders a man short, and Conroy took a look at the clock and fired it down the ice. 6 seconds remaining in Delgarno's penalty, and the Jets won't get out of their own end, it appears. Dalgarno is sprung. Winnipeg shooting it into the Islanders' zone. Steen in after it. Bumped by Dineen. Steen plays it to the corner. Playing to Howard-Chuck, and he shot one wide. There's Waters over on the right side, playing it back in the net. Dale Howard-Chuck had it knocked away by Dineen. Alan Kerr picks it up. Kerr with a pass up the left side. Weak pass off the heel of his stick. He actually shanked it.
Offside, too. I'm waiting for one of the linesmen to signal, but they're going to let that thing go, and now it doesn't matter.
Bell is over center into the Islanders' zone. Fake once and then can't get around. Brian Curran. Gilbert with the pass up the right side to Basson on to Brad Dalgarno. Dalgarno wheels over the line. Coming in on Bertium. Get it to Gilbert. Oh, and a glove save by Bertium. Greg Gilbert, who set up the opening goal tonight, had an opportunity to get one right there and was robbed by Bertium.
Boy, what a job Bertium's doing here in the second period. That one, point-blank range. He had time. He picked the spot he wanted to put it. Brad Dalgarno here, as he turns in the center ice area. Good move as he walks around Mario Marois. There's his pass. Here's the shot by Greg Gilbert. What a stop by Bertium. He gets it in the catching mitt as Dalgarno drops it back. Good play by Dalgarno. Good stop by Bertium off Greg Gilbert.
Now Basson, Dalgarno, and Gilbert line up for the face-off in the Winnipeg end of the ice.
You always feel good, too, because you know you're going to get the puck in the play there by Brad Dalgarno. Greg Gilbert knew it was coming, and he knew it was going to be just right. He had the feeling, and man, did he rip it. What a stop.
Jets won the draw. They get Boschman loose at center ice. The pass to Mill. Mill trying to cut in off left wing, puts on the break, centers one. It's deflected high, ends up at the right point. Marois with it. Puts it in front off the stick. That's cleared by Morrow. Bodies flying all over the place. Delayed penalty call in effect. Now, as Dalgarno gets to center, the hooking call appears to be going against the Islanders.
They had possession of the puck. It was a long time before Ron Koharski decided that I'd better blow the whistle. We saw Kelly Rudy fall on the play. I thought maybe there was an interference penalty on the goaltender, but we also saw one of the Winnipeg players. There's Brad Dalgarno. He's got his stick up. There's two players, one running into Kelly Rudy, and there's the other player crashing to the ice. I believe that was Boschman. Morrow, it appears, is getting the penalty with all of the people falling and all of the sticks that were moving. I didn't see Morrow, but let's take a look. Maybe it was Morrow that jammed the player into Kelly Rudy. Yes, there's Kenny Morrow to your left side of your screen as you see the flying body of Jim Nill as he lands into Kelly Rudy. Morrow goes to the penalty box. 38 seconds remaining here in the second period. The Islanders 3, the Jets 2.
Howard-Chuck lining up for the face-off, directing Ellett, repositioning actually. Now he skates in against Brent Sutter, and Sutter won the draw. Conroy slaps it away from Carlisle and down the ice. 3-2 is your score. The Islanders leading the Winnipeg Jets. They trailed 2-1 about the 5-minute mark, actually just after the 3-minute mark of this period. And here's Carlisle coming in on the right side. To McLean. Brent Sutter stepped in front of him. Now McLean with it. Lets one go, and that changed direction. Howard-Chuck with the rebound. Back to McLean. Can't get it to Howard-Chuck as Brent Sutter broke up the play. Now Sutter chases it as Tom cleared it out to center. Sutter over the line. And Sutter moves in deep center. Oh, Bertium reached across. They had Conroy coming on the left side, and now the horn ends period number 2. Just after a brilliant rush by the Islanders and another great save by Daniel Bertium.
That was deflected, I believe, Jiggs, right in front of him. Brent Sutter, here he is, down the right wing side.
Power play. Morrow off for hooking, called at 19:22 of the second period. Killing it off, Richard Crom along with Brent Sutter, Steve Conroy, and Gord Dineen, and they've just forced the Jets back into their own end of the ice. Randy Carlisle picks it up. Ian Ellett on the points. McBain, Howard-Chuck, and McLean up front. This is Howard-Chuck handling the puck. Over the line on right wing, but offside as McLean was spun around, and down he went.
Let me complete what I was telling about the Islander News, the official newspaper of the New York Islanders. But why not get the Islander News the convenient way, right in? Get it in your own mailbox. Send a check or money order for $12, which entitles you to a year's subscription of 9 monthly issues to the Islander News Post Office Box, 5420, Hempstead, New York, 11550. Make a great Christmas gift. We're getting closer.
Hawerchuk and Brent Sutter on the draw. Won by Sutter. Dineen picks it up. McBain into forecheck, and Dineen just turned and shot it down the ice. Ellett goes back. Last time these two teams played here at the Nassau Coliseum, Alan Kerr and Dave Ellett got mixed up in a fight. Ellett came out of it with a broken nose. But none of that kind of thing tonight. Potvin has just cleared the puck with 30 seconds left in Morrow's hooking penalty.
Well, the last 7 shots on goal at the end of the second period were all Islander shots.
They lead Winnipeg 3-2. Randy Carlyle makes the play to Hawerchuk over the line. Trouble getting around his teammate McLean, and Potvin broke it up, and Dineen has shot it into the Islander bench, and everybody ducked.
Look at, hey, listen, a smile. There he is. Terry Simpson thought that was rather humorous. The players turn around, look at him. One of the fans having some fun with Coach Simpson.
Face off directly in front of Kelly Rudy, midway between the blue line and the goal mouth. 13 seconds left in the Winnipeg power play. Jets play the Rangers tomorrow night. The Rangers took a 1-0 lead over Pittsburgh tonight. Early in that game, Carlyle with the pass to Ellett, back to Carlyle. Centers one in front. Hawerchuk can't shoot it around. Conroy to slid in front of him. Islanders don't get it out across the line. Ellett's pass tipped by Hawerchuk. McBain in after it. Back to Hawerchuk. Shovels it to the blue line. Teams at 6 aside. Carlyle's backhander is blocked by Conroy, and bringing it out is Crom. Crom works his way into the Winnipeg zone, gets checked, then checked McBain in turn, and out come the Jets. Here's Dale Hawerchuk. Off right wing, shot one high, bounces off the glass to McBain. Worked it to the corner. Alan Kerr left it for Pat LaFontaine. Now to Conroy. To Richard Crom. Crom over the Winnipeg line. Pulls to the right side. Held the puck. Gets it again. Centers one across to LaFontaine. To Kerr. To LaFontaine, who was knocked down in the goal mouth. Out come the Winnipeg Jets, but the play broken up. Morrow plays it rink wide. Potvin got to it. Knocked it away from Hawerchuk. Jim Kite hustling back on the Winnipeg defense. Kite around to the right wing boards. Neufeld played it across into center ice. Boschman to Nil, and he shot one way wide of the net. Or Hamel, I should say. Hamel out with Boschman and Neufeld. As Alan Kerr gets away from a check, gave the puck to Potvin. To Alan Kerr, some open ice on the right side. Lets it go. Bertram the save, and the rebound is covered, then cleared by Ellett. To Neufeld. To Hamel. Over the line on left wing, gave it to Neufeld. He's checked by LaFontaine, and Alan Kerr picks it up. Kerr carries it to center, has Brad Lauer with him, dropped it to Morrow. He's over the line. Morrow to Lauer, centers it across, tipped as LaFontaine was wide open. Now he turns, lets it go, and that misses the net. Ryan Curran hustles in after it, beating the Jets to the puck in their own end of the ice. Bringing it out is Waters. Waters gets to the center ice area. Sent it up to Hamel, who cuts to right wing, and trouble controlling it. Outshot around the board, skips off the boards right out in front of the net that had been vacated by Kelly Rudy. Makela down to Curran, up the left side to Trottier, rink wide to Makela. Nico Makela trying to get around Carlyle, cuts in a backhander off the post in the skates of Bertram. He claps them together and holds onto it. Break in the action. 16 and a half minutes remaining in the third period, and your score is the Islanders 3, the Jets 2.
And Trottier finds Mikko Makela down the right side. Watch Carlyle trying to check Makela. Makela with the stick in one hand shovels the puck. It goes off the goalpost, comes back off the skates. Berthiaume doesn't want to move. He knows the puck's there. He's afraid to make a move. He may knock it in. Looking for some help. Finally, he gets a little bit, not a great deal, from Taglianetti, but then he clamps his two skates together and holds onto it.
Delgarno head it to Dineen, in front to Gilbert, and his shot blocked at the defense. Up come the Winnipeg Jets. Taglianetti plays it up the left side. Moved out into center ice, and here's Boschman.
This is the first time that Taglianetti's been out on the ice. No, we're talking about that one shift. He gave the puck away twice. Yeah, this is the first time he's been out since then.
Devils lost this afternoon. Philadelphia lost this afternoon. The Islanders in first place of the Patrick Division, leading Winnipeg, but here's Spale making the play, and it goes outside the Islander blue line. Chasing it is Carlisle. A little less than 6:15 minutes to go in the third period. Taglianetti fires it in around the boards. Brad Lauer got checked. Here's Fail. Fires one right across the goal mouth. Ends up on the left side in the control of Alan Kerr. Kerr and Lauer across the line. Kerr cutting to right wing. Works on Kite, centers, and that's broken up by Merwa. Merwa shovels it up the boards. Omastine comes to center ice. Is checked there by the hustle of Pat LaFontaine. Kerr feeds Lauer on right wing. Lauer to Kerr, and it's off the heel of his stick. Kerr trying to get it to LaFontaine. Does. LaFontaine is tied up by Merwa, and the Jets break out. Smale over center ice. Into the Islanders zone, working on Morrow. Chases into the corner. Smale threaded it across. Comes off the boards. And Potvin fires it to center ice. Kite blocked it there. Put it right back in on goal. Picking it up is Morrow. Ken Morrow to Mikko Makala. His stick, and the Jets come over the line offside in control of the puck.
Post-checking game here in the third period. Let's take a look at Sports Channel's out-of-town scoreboard. Washington trailed Minnesota in the second period 1-0. That game at the Capitol Center. The Rangers are still leading Pittsburgh in the second period 1-0. No score in the first at Montreal, Chicago and Montreal. Hartford trailing Boston in the second period 3-1. The Bruins seem to be getting better. And St. Louis in the first period leading Edmonton 1-0. That game at the St. Louis Arena.
Here it is 3-2. The Islanders leading the Winnipeg Jets. In Waters with a pass to Dale Howard-Chuck. Couldn't find McBain. Moving up right wing. Johnson has it. Gave it to Makala. Bats it into the Winnipeg zone. And back of the net, Rich Crom. Waters got to it. Trottier checks him. Gave it to Crom. Crom trying to center. Ellett all over him. Picking it up and bringing out is McLean. Pass to Howard-Chuck. Up to McLean. Johnson put a stick on that, and as McLean gets to it, offside is the call. The Islanders make 2 visits to the arena in Winnipeg this season, the first of which is Tuesday, December 22nd. Then again on Sunday, March 20th. We're able to do the last-minute Christmas shopping at Canadian prices, 18.
That's only if you can get it back.
Yeah, well, that's true, yeah.
Well, of course, for what we buy at Christmas, we could probably bring it back together and not exceed the due amount. It's $40.
December 22, and then if I recall correctly, the Islanders are in Chicago the following night, the 23rd of December. Johnson clearing the puck in his own zone. Now Brent Sutter back on the play. Moves it up the boards away from McLean. It's Carlisle who was pinching in, and Randy Wood with some help has shot it down the ice. Wood, King, and Brent Sutter for the Islanders. Jets clear it to center away from Curran. Ryan Curran comes back for it. Curran to Brent Sutter. Harry King has Wood with him on right wing, but Wood moves in offside. So there's no further play. There is a break in the action with 13 and a half minutes to go in the third period. And the Islanders leading the Jets 3-2.
Well, with the skating and the checking and hitting, what the total number of shots so far in the third period are 2.
Really?
That's exactly what they are. 2 shots, and they're both by the Islanders.
Masson with the puck. It's over the Winnipeg line. Put it in the corner. Greg Gilbert with it. Back of the net. Put it out in front. And Delgarno there, but he couldn't get to the puck in the slot in time, and Janine dumps it in. Merwa flips one high. That goes over the glass. 13,844 on hand tonight to see the young first-place Islanders. Young, growing, transition period, a team that has surprised a lot of folks early in the season. They'll be here again Tuesday night, taking on the Los Angeles Kings. 13-8 means a couple of thousand empty seats here tonight. Hope that you'll take the opportunity to get out to see this young and exciting hockey club. They've played some thrillers and entertained the fans right to the final moments and on into overtime a lot of nights.
23 points coming into tonight's game. Only the Montreal Canadiens with 24 have more points in the entire league.
Morrow playing the puck back into the Winnipeg zone. Fontaine trying to get back on side, had been knocked down a couple of times, but that wasn't interference. Merwa shoots it wide of Rudy. Brad Lauer with it from back of the net up the left side to Kerr. Kerr is checked, and it's knocked away from Lauer as well and recovered by Potvin. Over to Morrow. The pass out of his reach. Hamel back for Winnipeg. Lost it. LaFontaine dumps it in. Kerr chases it. LaFontaine to the front of the net. Can't relay the pass. Here's Potvin with a shot. Just wide as Kerr cut it off the far side. Morrow playing it around behind the net. LaFontaine going after it. In comes Lauer as well. LaFontaine with the puck. Turns, shoots off Berthiaume's blocking glove. And the Jets slap it out of there away from Potvin. Ray Neufeld having cleared it. Morrow goes back. And Morrow up the right side, just out of the reach of Makela. Gallup gets back for Winnipeg. We have 12 minutes to go in the third period. A one-goal Islander lead. Jets shoot it around the boards and down the ice. And again, icing is waved off. Ryan Curran with the puck. Curran looks, fed it to Rich Crom. Crom and Makela hit center ice. Makela blocking the pass and back, and out comes Trottier. Across the line with Makela. Fed Makela the puck. Goes to the backhand. Shoots. And the rebound. He scores! Makela's first shot is blocked. What a game he's had.
You had to know that sooner or later he was going to make one get in. He's had some opportunities. He put this one in on his own rebound after Brian Trottier had made a nice pass to Makela. He stepped around the defenseman, going straight up the middle. His 5th goal of the season. Here's Brian Trottier in front of Steen. There's a nice little dropout pass. Here's Makela as he steps around Ellett. There's the backhand. Berthiaume makes the stop, the rebound, right back to Makela, and he puts it in the top of the net. Fine backhand shot by Mikko Makela. What a smile as the Islanders take a 2-goal lead. It's 4-2 with 11:40 remaining in the third period.
Number 5 on the season for Makela. Not that long ago, just prior to the end of October, that he and a couple of teammates were told not to bother coming back to the players' bench for the third period of the game at Maple Leaf Gardens.
I think they've only lost one game since then.
Now a 2-goal lead for the Islanders. Game on the right side. There's the puck out into center ice. Jets get to it there and force the Islanders to go back. Trottier and Crom got the assists on Makela's goal. And they break out. Brent Sutter down the right side. Plays it off the boards into the Winnipeg zone. The Islanders in the middle of the player change. The Jets starting out with it. Taglianetti tripped up at center ice. Jim Dill gets a stick on it. Stopped outside the line, then played it off Wilson's skates. He had both of them inside the Islander blue line, and that's offside. A break in the action. 10 minutes, 41 seconds left in the third period. The Islanders lead Winnipeg 4-2. Brian Trottier is no longer tied with Jean Beliveau. He now has scored 1,220 career points and is only 3 assists shy of John Rattel's record of 771. And here's a chance for Gilbert. He gets tripped up as he moves in, and Winnipeg will be a man short. The Islanders to the power play with 10.5 minutes remaining in this third period.
Marois takes the penalty. What a good move as Greg Gilbert, having one of his better games, breaks away. Here he is, gets in behind Marois. He gets pulled off the puck and taken down. You could see Jim Kite come in to help out, but a penalty to Marois. And the Islanders get another power play opportunity. They've scored the only goal of the third period, which in itself is unusual. Dan Maloney watching his team become a man short.
A season ago, the Jets won 15 road games. They won their first 2 on the road this season, have not won in the last 4. They've gone 0-3-1 in their last 4 road games.
A 1 tie Thursday night against the New Jersey Devils, a 1-1 thriller. Here, trailing by 2 and going to the power play are the Islanders.
LaFontaine shot it in off the right wing boards. Carlisle slams it down the ice. Kelly Rudy around the boards, just out of the reach of LaFontaine. Here's Carlisle unloading off the pads of Rudy. It's loose in front again, and Smale shot it wide. On Wilson in forechecking for Winnipeg. Lost it to Trottier, now to Potvin as he goes back to the net with it. Danny Potvin to Trottier. Drops it back. Janssen pulls it away from Wilson, gave it to Potvin. Across to Makela. The Trottier cruises in front. Trottier, and Makela gets in, shoots. The red light did not come on. The referee is pointing.
Yes, he's saying it was just inside the goal post. the light on, but Don Koharski, who was in the right spot down on the goal line, was nodding yes. He signaled with his hands about 12 inches apart that he saw the puck go into the net. Now, he wants to talk to you, Jake. He's got a headset on. He wants verification here.
Yeah, Don. Yeah. Anchovies? We're kidding.
Anchovies on the pizza, and also another look. Brian Trottier goes in. Berthiaume makes a good stop here. There's the rebound. Bang. There's the shot. Somebody had their body in the way. Come on, Dennis Potvin, get out of the way. We can't tell. Let's take a look here. Now watch up by the goal post. Watch the net. I don't see anything yet. Here's the puck now. Here it comes. There it is. You see the net blink and bulge? Or is it a hockey stick? No, it's the puck. It hit in just inside the goal post and bounced back out. Mikko Makela with another goal. He had just scored a moment ago.
And the referee was not calling up here, folks. He was on the headset to the goal judge, in this case, Vicky Slowick. And Dan Maloney would like to have listened into that call, too. But Makela with the power play goal at 10:11 of the third period gives the Islanders a 3-goal lead. And that has been a problem in recent games, especially after the 10-minute mark of the third period, where we are right now, 9.5 minutes to go.
Not much fear of Winnipeg scoring a goal, according to the shots. They just made their first shot on goal in 14 minutes of hockey playing time. Not going to score a lot of goals that way.
Puck went over the boards and then back out on the ice, thus the play stoppage. Portions of tonight's game are being brought to you by Minolta, only from the mind of Minolta.
Dennis Potvin getting an assist. Brian Trottier, who had made the initial play at the net. Berthiaume making a good stop off Trottier, who was in all alone. But it was Mikko Makela's rebound shot that put the Islanders up by 3.
3-point night for Brian Trottier, all assists. Jets moving into the Islanders zone after a loose puck. McLean put it in front, steered aside by Rudy. Carlisle gets to it. Big slap shot, deflected off Rudy as well. Bounces up in the air and is knocked down. Recovered by Conroy. Steve Conroy with a pass to Basson. Couldn't knock it out of the air. Howardchuk over the line with a drive. Look at that stop by Kelly Rudy as Howardchuk tried to beat him low on the glove side. Up comes Conroy. And set up the Rudy cheer as Basson shot is off the blocking glove of Berthiaume. Jets played around to McBain. Up the boards to Taglianetti. Uploads from center ice. Steered aside by Rudy. Danny Potvin with it. Potvin's pass goes to Basson. Waits, then makes the play across to the right side for Morrow. Flips it high in the air, and that will land deep in the Winnipeg zone and will go for an icing. And will go as well. 8 minutes, 15 seconds left in the third period. With this break of the action, the Islanders lead the Jets 5-2.
Does possess a good shot here using Gord Dineen as a partial screen. Watch the catching mitt. Kelly Rudy, actually, that puck was almost by him, and he was able to get back there with his catching mitt, get enough of it to snare it and hang on. Good stop by Kelly Rudy.
Boschman facing off for Winnipeg. Neufeld on the right side. Mel on the left. And the Islanders move it out of their own zone. Randy Wood playing with King and Sutter. Potvin and Morrow on defense. Danny Potvin with a pass to Sutter. Couldn't get away from Mel. Potvin moves over. Mel after it again. Brent Sutter bumping him. Potvin moved the puck back to the net. Neufeld comes in. So does Hamel, but it's Brent Sutter controlling it off the boards. Sutter's pass to Morrow. Got away from both Morrow and Boschman. Now Waters dumps it back. 7 minutes, 40 seconds. The time remaining here in the third period. Potvin with a pass up left wing to King. Across to Randy Wood. Wood trying to get in around Ellett. Put on the brakes. Slips by him. Puck ends up in the corner. And the Jets start out. Jim Kite making the pass to Waters. Waters to Kite into the Islanders zone of Boschman. And play broken up. Here's Wood with a pass to Sutter. Right back to Wood. Randy Wood in off left wing. Around Waters. Goes back to the net with it. Comes out in front. Wood lets it go. He scores! Well, if nobody's going to chase him, nobody's going to go after him. You might as well shoot it, huh?
Yeah, you turn the box loose. You're going to steal a chicken, and Randy said, why not? He gets his 8th goal. There they are, the Hounds in pursuit of the Fox, but he slipped the trap, got out in front. There's the shot. It's low. It's to the left side. Deflected, possibly deflected off Brent Sutter, but we'll have to wait and see. Good play by Randy Wood.
Now the Jets into the Islanders zone. Yarvenpah going back to the net. Tripped up by Curran. No call, and Curran backhands it out into center ice. Randy Wood credited with the goal, his 8th of the season.
Number 21, Brent Sutter. And number 34, Brian
Sutter and Curran by the assist. It is 6-2. The Islanders leading Winnipeg. Rudy leaves the puck back to the net for Deneen. To the right side for Makela. Now to Rich Crom, over to Brian Trottier. Trotier's pass to Conroy is intercepted. And there was checked and turn, and Conroy shoots it down into the Winnipeg zone. The Islanders have won 6 and tied 2 of their last dozen meetings with Winnipeg, not including tonight. A 6-2-5 home record against the Jets. They're about to extend that 4-game non-losing streak on home ice against Winnipeg as we're down to the final 6 minutes of this hockey game, and Deneen with the puck. Backhands one high, hit tag Benetti at the blue line, and Trottier clears it up the wing for Lauer. 2-on-1 with Makela. Brad Lauer moves right in, shoots and scores! It's 7-2. They're beating Daniel Bartholomew to the Wolves boxes, whatever. What a nice play by Brad Lauer. They had a 2-on-1 break, and he used the defenseman and he used the goaltender, and he got himself a goal. Here comes Lauer down the left wing side. You see him fake, he kept faking. Berthume tried to play it like it was a pass. Brad Lauer held on to the puck, skated past the goaltender, and then slid it into the open net. Brad Lauer, his 3rd goal of the season, makes it 7-2, and the Islanders have found a way to widen the lead in the 3rd period. Lauer with a big goal on Tuesday night in overtime to get the Islanders a win over Washington. He'll be guesting with me on the radio show following tonight's game on WGBB Radio, 1240.
Lauer's 3rd of the year from Trottier at 14.
Trottier with another point. What a night he's had. 4 assists now for Brian Trottier, and the Islanders up 7-2 on home ice. Jets clear the puck. Coming back for it is Morrow, and that goes into the penalty box. A break in the action. Just over 5 minutes to play in the 3rd period. The Islanders leading the Jets 7-2.
Started 4 assists tonight. How about this one? Coming into the game, he was the only player on the Islanders team that was a minus. He was -4. His junior line mate, playing for Hartford, none other than Dave Tiger Williams, is the Whalers' only plus player at +3.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. I wouldn't kid you, Jig.
The Tiger?
The Tiger. How about that? Of course, Brian has gone a long way to correct that. I think he's probably a +4 by now, so he's back to even. He's +3 for tonight.
Yeah, 1 on the power play.
Didn't count.
He's 1 assist shy of being the 11th, tied for 11th spot on the all-time assist list in the NHL with none other than Jean Rattel. He held 771 assists, and Ryan needs 1 more to tie that mark as he slides down the bench.
How about 2 classy guys there, Brian Trottier and Jean Rattel, the outstanding centerman with the New York Rangers for many years and finished his career with the Boston Bruins. And how about Randy Wood, speaking of Boston, comes from the Boston area. 8 goals now. He's 2nd in the rookies. Bob Sweeney of Boston is leading with 9. That includes 1 tonight that Sweeney scored.
Delgarno tripped up as he went back to the net. Delgarno, Gilbert, and Basson with Curran and Janssen at the point. Here's Jim Kite for Winnipeg. I want to get this one out of the way and go play the Rangers tomorrow night. Let's start it again. Gilbert dumped it in off the boards. Taglianetti with a pass to Kite. Kite hits the center ice stripe and got it into the Islanders zone. Johnson with it. Around to Brad Delgarno. Delgarno gave the Islanders a 1-0 lead in the 1st period. And Winnipeg came back, tied it, and went ahead. The Jets led 2-1. 5:30 mark of the 2nd period, the Islanders tied it and then took the lead on a power play goal and haven't looked back. They scored 4 unanswered goals here in the 3rd period. It equals the most they've scored in any 3rd period this season. or any period. Comma, dot, exclamation point.
About a period for the third period.
Neufeld backhands it up the left side. Amel's shot is blocked by Deneen. Neil Amel and Deneen go to the boards. Brent Sutter moves in as well. Neufeld picks up the puck. Sutter checks him, and it's loose at center ice. Randy Wood moving up, but Waters is there in time. Tim Waters fires it off the boards in the Islander zone. Just over 3 minutes remaining. Richard Crom around the boards for Conroy. Conroy, a breaking pass cut off by Waters. Came right back to Conroy. Now to Crom. He's over the line on the left side, but couldn't handle the puck. Picks it up. Tries to get around the defensive work of Elliott. Centered. Randy Wood couldn't trap it, and here's Neufeld. Slaps it in from center. Knuckleball shot handled by Rudy. Rudy with a pass off the boards for Potvin, and he cleared it to center ice. Taglianetti shoots it in. Jay picks it up over in the wing, played it to center ice. Jets put it right back in the Islander zone again. Kenny Morrow's pass intercepted by Wilson as he came in on the left wing boards. They get it back to Kite. Kite centers one in front. That shot deflected off to Jim Nill and comes back to Taglianetti. Plays it to the corner. Potvin is there. Bumping with Nill. Here's Kite with a shot off Trotier's stick. Controlled by Makela. Makela has scored twice, both in this period. Wood and Lauer also in the third period. Kenny Potvin going back of the Islander net. Carries the puck into the center ice zone. Wilson and Trottier got tangled up back of the net. Lauer in after it. It's cleared by Bertiom up the right side for Nill. Pass across, intercepted by LaFontaine. The Jets cleared it back, but right to Johnson. Now to Lauer. Lauer's pass broken up, gets it again, plays it across the line offside to Mikko Makela. 1 minute period with this break in the action. The Islanders lead the Jets 7-2.
Daniel Berthiaume visibly upset a couple of times. We've watched him closely, and rightfully so. Coming into tonight's game, he was second only to Bob Sauvé of the New Jersey Devils. In average, 2.66 he had coming into the hockey game, just behind Sauvé and just ahead of Patrick Roy.
Here's a chance for Winnipeg, and they bat one over Kelly Rudy. Dave Ellett getting the rebound off the pads. Bats it down over Rudy, and it is 7-3.
Kind of goals that do damage to goaltenders' averages. Kelly Rudy coming into the game was just under 3, so that's not going to help his average. Had he stayed at 2, it would be helpful. At 3, it's a hindrance. Here's Winnipeg, who have not skated well since partway through the second period. There's the initial save by Kelly Rudy. The foul ball. Yes, of course, Ed. Puck bounces up into the air. Batted out of the air by Dave Ellett, the defenseman, into the net.
So 7-3 is the score. And Gilbert takes the pass from Conroy and hustles into the Winnipeg zone. Makela playing with Bassett and Gilbert at the moment as they try to get him the third, no doubt. Smale shot wide of Rudy. Or Deneen kicks it to the corner. Makela will pick it up there off the boards, but not out. Ellett fires much more than that. Block. Here's Dean. They center, and Rudy out of position is nailed up by the defense. Conroy comes across with Deneen and fired it down the ice.
Oh, absolutely. What a move by Steve Conroy as he keeps Kelly Rudy from having another one get in behind him. Ellett from Steen and Smale, 18:46, makes it 7-3. 34 seconds remaining. Good play by Steve Conroy. He moved back. The Islanders a little sloppy here in the late stages of the third period. They played well, letting things get out of hand. Look at the nice move here, pulling the puck into himself, Thomas Steen, as he tries to pass it. Steve Conroy comes in, breaks it up, knocks the puck to the side. Winnipeg looking like they were going to get another one.
Rudy out of position only because he had made the play and the puck didn't go where he wanted it to. He's caught.
So important, you know. Goaltenders are called upon to make the save. They make the save, and sometimes they can't hold their balance. They have to move to make the save, and they're at the mercy. And if the defense aren't there, his defense, to help him get the puck away from the front of the net, then, of course, he's got a bigger problem.
LA Kings come in here on Tuesday night, and then the Islanders go to Montreal on Wednesday night. Next 2 games here on SportsChannel. A week from tonight, the Islanders will be in Philadelphia, face the Flyers. Brent Sutter dumping it in with 20 seconds remaining here. Jets clear it to center ice. Potvin gathers it in there. Danny Potvin up the board. Soft Eric King. Gill gets over the line, but ahead of him on the play was Rooney, and that puts it offside with 10 seconds left.
Well, the Islanders with a win here tonight certainly do a lot for themselves. They've got 23 points, as we had mentioned. That'll give them 25. The Devils, who lost today after leading 4-1 at one point in the second period, remain at 22. So the Islanders making a little breathing room. They'll be 3 points ahead of second place New Jersey. The Washington Capitals and Pittsburgh tied, and Pittsburgh still trailing the Rangers in the second period.
Nico Makela handles the puck at center ice. Out on a long shot. Back not to, and the Jets dump it in. Perkio very quickly is off the ice. Kelly Rudy has just recorded his 9th victory of the season. His second lifetime victory over the Winnipeg Jets. He's now 9-2-1 this year, and his goals against will stay just about where it was at the start of the game tonight, right around the 2.90 average. And Dan Maloney, the Winnipeg coach, strides toward their dressing room, certainly not pleased with what he saw in the third period tonight. You would never know. Of course, it's nothing new for Terry Simpson to have a team in first place. He coached at Prince Albert, Saskatchewan for 14 years. 10 consecutive years, that junior team of his was a first-place club, finished first. So this is nothing new. This is just old hat for the coach as he heads to the dressing room. The Islanders with a 7-3 win. We'll be back with a recap right after these messages. We're 7-3. The Islanders beat the Jets. Now let's go down and join Stan Fischler.
Thank you, Jiggs. One of the stars of the game announces the #1 star, Mikko Makela. Your feelings about the game?
Well, I felt pretty good. I get lots of ice time tonight, and I felt good.
Well, you not only got 2 goals, Mikko, but I loved the strong way you were cutting in on the net. Rather than going around the net, you were making that cut right in. And it seemed to me you had tremendous confidence in yourself on that play.
Well, you start getting confidence when you get ice time more, and it's a lot of things happen when you get passes, right spot, and right time.
Well, do you agree with me that you've been making that play, particularly tonight? You made that play more than usual?
Well, yeah, I guess I have been struggling so far this year, and I don't know what's wrong with me. But now I think I start carrying with that kind of skating over following games. I hope so.
Mikko, thanks very much for coming. Take it away, Jiggs.
The final score is the Islanders over the Jets 7-3. They outshot Winnipeg in all 3 periods, 11-8 in the first, 11-10 in the second, and 10-8 in the third after they'd outshot them by a wide margin early on. Overall, the Islanders with 32 shots tonight, the Jets with 26. It was a 3-2 Islander lead going to the third period. Mikko Makela scores his 5th of the year from Trottier and Crom at the 8:20 mark. And then on a power play, it is Makela from Trottier and Potvin at 10:11. That with Marois sitting out a penalty, and the Islanders were rolling. They add to it. Randy Wood makes it 6-2 from Sutter and Kern at 12:53. Wood's 8th of the season. Brad Lauer gets his 3rd of the season. Brian Trottier set him on a rink-length dash down the left wing boards. That goal recorded at 14:13. And then the Jets get the last goal of the night. Dave Ellett tapping in his own rebound to the right side of Rudy at 18:46. And 7-3 is your final score in what you might call a rout. The Islanders over the Winnipeg Jets.
It wasn't a rout until the third period, I think most of us will admit, but you go back to the second period, I think that's when we both agreed, Jiggs, that the Winnipeg Jets did not skate the way they skated in the first 2 periods, where they were creating some opportunities. Kelly Rudy was making the saves in most cases, but they stopped skating, and the minute they stopped skating, the Islanders, you could see them picking up the pace. Winnipeg just didn't seem to be able to stay with them. Berthiaume, many times having to come up. We were comparing him with Kelly Rudy the other night, Thursday night in St. Louis, where he had to make so many outstanding saves. Berthiaume doing the same same thing. But he couldn't continue. The rebounds were getting out there. The Islanders were picking his bones clean.
And a 7-3 victory coupled with the Devils' loss today, the Islanders have themselves a 3-point lead over the rest of the pack in the Patrick Division. 7-3 is the final tonight. Now stay tuned for the Islanders postgame show coming up next, right here on Sports Channel, the official channel of the New York fan.
ICENET. Dynasties live here.
We understand living on Long Island because we do too. We're all Islanders, and if you want Long Island's best team for insurance, go for National Security Brokerage. You'll feel secure with National Security Brokerage. Let's go Islanders!